16, the second round of the Adelaide Softball CMX Premier League. Coming to you live from West Beach on beautiful Garn. It's 3 p.m. and today's game of the day is the Seacombe Tigers, Walkerville Cats. Plenty happening down here. Rebels out running out winners 6-4, and up there in the hills it's Lynn Adams. How are you doing?
I'm really well, thanks, Anthony.
Just going to grab your microphone, just bring it a little bit closer.
Oh, good.
So there they can all hear.
Oh, yes.
Great, awesome. That sounds. Lynn's just going to with us and tell us some great things that happened last night and what we're looking forward to the CFS Foundation CFS round. And as I said, we've got a game after. Rebels, Nat Brinkworth. They're going to come on a little bit later on through the broadcast. So getting ready for the first pitch here. So we're on Walkerville are going to kick us off with Sophie King, the shortstop. It's going to be the first batter. All right.
Looks like it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. The weather's good. We may be a little bit disorganised back here, but we'll figure it out and do our very best here today. It's Araha Munro on the pitching strike, and she started up the game with a strike to the lead off for the Cats. Yep, 30 degrees down here today, not much breeze. King gets after it early. Sasha Mutsi, the shortstop, to catch above her head looking into the sun. That's not as easy as it seems. And Hayley Mayer comes up to the plate just here on the C-Max replay. Sophie out in front, probably a touch high. And Mutsi, good feet, and watches it all the way into the glove for the first out. Mayer takes a strike. And ball away. Plate umpires for today's game. Dave Borovnik is behind the plate. Kevin Tannenbrings at first, and that looks like Damien McCauley over there at third. Mayer drags the ball over to Georgia Tompkinson, and for a ground out, Becky Havas, more traditional spot from where we saw her last year, dominate the Premier League at first base. And Munro's picked up 2 outs as the Californian import for the Cats. It's Chelsea Martinez. Munro been ahead in the count most of these first 3 batters, so attacking the hitters early. Regan Diaz is out there at centre field. She was the pitcher on Wednesday night's game in the loss against the Rebels. Martinez gets jammed on the hands. It's going to fall into the 7 just in front of centre field. How am I travelling? Emily Erickson comes rushing in and keeps it to a single. Martinez has made herself to first, comes off on the pitcher speed-up rule. So we're in the top of the first. The Cats are batting. It's 2 out. Pinch runner has come on, and that brings to the plate Sophie Roberts. Another early strike from Munro as she stays. Roberts batting in the clean-up spot. Recently returned from the Italian Softball League. Gets underneath this one, drops the shoulder, ball calls by Becky Havas, and the have retired the Cats. Lynn, let's take this quick opportunity and tell us about the exciting things that was happening up at Nemo Park last night.
I think we had a great night. The weather was, which is be guaranteed of, and up in the hills. But I feel we really had two great games between Macclesfield and Harndorf, and then Glenelg and Hills Heath, maybe.
Oh, that was a cracker of a game. Rumour going around, for those that want to watch that replay, it's obviously on the Facebook page and obviously on YouTube. Is it true that Smokey the Bear did race pre-game?
I believe that is true.
I heard one of the Marrick girls very confident that she won.
Well, Smokey the koala always gets the benefit of starting at second. Doesn't quite do the entire diamond. So maybe a little bit of a handicap kids who were racing against Smokey last night.
And so what were we raising money for?
Last night it was raising money for the CFS Foundation. The CFS Foundation support the volunteers who are emergency service volunteers. They contribute funds, help them when they are in time of need, in support of them helping us when we're in time of need.
And it was on a special anniversary too, the 41st anniversary of Ash Westney. Chelsea Martinez here kicking off against Reagan Diaz, the Seacombe lead-off, who's in the top 10 batters in the competition, which would put her in the running for the new Mel McGee medal for the best hitter in the league. She's in that race batting .463 for the Tigers. Started Wednesday night with a triple to left field, so let's see if she can repeat those heroics. Takes it inside, brings herself to a nice hitting count. Just going to run you through the defences shortly. Diaz, ground ball over to Sophie King. Sophie King comes up fast, and as she's coming up, she's throwing the ball, and it's gone high. Mason's had to come off the bag, and Diaz gets herself on the first. C-Max replay here, you see Sophie King stays nice and low, but just has released the ball a touch early on the way up, and the throw's gone a bit high. Mason does a good job of making sure it doesn't beat her. Brings to the plate shortstop Sasha Mutsi. Both pitchers throwing a lot of early strikes. Diaz taking a signal from Coach Benedictson. On deck, Bree Lint. Ground over to the right side. Short play over to King at 2. Gets the lead runner, and Mutsi fast enough to get up the first base line. I believe that's Kelly Bested there at second, normally playing in the outfield, coming in and playing second base today. So good play by her on the replay, stays low, comes up, just juggles the ball in her glove. King already set, and eyes for the ball, does a great job. Bree Lint having another good year with the bat. Not behind the dish today. She's over at third base when the Tigers are in defence. Takes a ball on the bounce. Well caught behind the plate by Brooke Bethune. Takes a strike. Mutsi still at first. Tigers are one out. We're in the bottom of the first. It's 0 to the Cats, 0 to the Tigers. Round 16, CFS round, coming to you from West Beach. Ground out hard to the left side. Roberts takes it high. Bested does a great job as a left-handed second base. Glove out in front. 2 foot on the bag. And we see here on the C-Max replay, good reflexes by the third base, Sophie Roberts. Good timing on the throw, bested in the right place as the Cats perform solid defence there to get the lead out. Brings to the plate clean-up hitter and first base today, Becky Havis. Takes a change up for a ball. Tiger out with a runner at first. Takes one right on the knees to level the count up at 1-1. Martinez goes for a similar type pitch, this one a little bit lower, and it's called a ball, bringing the count in Becky's favour to 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Lintz at first, it's 0-0 in the bottom of the first. Goes after a similar pitch, grounds and fouls this one off on the third base side. Change up, and Havis goes down looking as the Tigers are retired as the game is 0-0. So raising money for the CFS Foundation. Obviously the foundation supports not only the volunteers that do all the brave and courageous work that the CFS does in the hills and obviously in the local country areas as well. Obviously that money goes towards equipment, training, supporting the victims' families of those that have in action in service of the CFS, which is, as you can imagine, an important thing. These are volunteers that are giving up, risking their lives. And there was a very touching video posted by Joe at the end of that game last night. Insight back to Ash Wednesday had 41 years ago, but even more recent, the fires and that we've had up there, it's been. You can't undersell how important their work is.
Absolutely not. I think as people who give back to our sport, the softball community are amazing at supporting good causes. You're a volunteer, I'm a volunteer, Pete Williams is a volunteer, it takes a village. We're volunteering for sport. These people are volunteering and risking their lives, and there's a humanity in that can't be underestimated.
Absolutely, and we've got to be able to support them. It's a tough. The world's different nowadays. It's not to sort of have money funded towards. It's not as easy as it seems to be anymore. Brooke Bethune leading off the top of the second here as Munro's got her on 2 off-speed pitches early behind the plate today as Brianne Lintz pushed out to third. So there was a QR code that we were running on the video last night. Bethune puts this one up in the air, and Woodsy's taken her second fly catch, and so they can log on to
the QR code, and you can donate that way.
Yep. Is there a web address that they can also log into?
QR code's usually the easiest way. We have a few posters around the place.
Yep.
We've got funds collection tins here at West Beach and also up at Anembo Park today.
Yep.
Hills Association are having a whole round. Every team that's playing up there today is in support of the CFS Foundation.
All right.
I've seen some amazing photos come
back.
back.
And so obviously the Hills Softball Association webpage and their socials, they'll have the codes and stuff. So we'll make sure that the ASA web pages and so on do that as well. So Mason drives the ball at the middle. Great glove out the front by feet weren't set though, and she's thrown over the top of Havis, who was at full extension as the ball rolls into the fence. Thank you for your time, Lynn, coming in today. Really appreciate it. Congratulate you enough on what you organised and what you guys did up there last night. Hills always turn it on. It was a great job. lots of dignitaries up there as well. So we had the emergency services minister and so on. It was a big deal. So thank you for your time coming in and letting us know about that. Steph Gall wastes no time here as getting a workout today at Shortstop Tigers as she takes catch 3. And yeah, as I said, we will continue to support it. Obviously, the Bar 66 is running a barbecue at the back today with proceeds going towards it. So, and there's some ribbons there as well. So, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, Anthony, and once again, thanks for coming up and assisting us last night.
No, I didn't do anything, but watching you guys at work was amazing. So, thanks for your time, Lynn. Really appreciate it. That's Lynn Adams from the Hills Softball Association, one of the best volunteers in the state, and did a great job in assisting Joe Liddell.
Have a good game.
Thank you so much. The Cats have got a runner at first, and Maxine Saunders returns to the Cats starting lineup, playing in the right field spot. And today she's batting in spot number 8. The Cats have 2 out here. Kelly Bested is the on-deck hitter. More importantly, joining me here, far out, softball royalty, one of the most popular superstars in the CMAX Premier League. She's a state player in both women's softball and baseball. She's a previous Kathleen Coral medalist. She's also a premiership player. She's one of Port's those legacy warriors that are always going to be the first premiership players. So the power hitter from the Port Adelaide Magpies, Jess Meslin.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming along. Sorry we've had to have a bit of a delay here. We're just sort of rotating through our commentary here, so we're figuring it out as we go. But interesting game here in the top of the second. Cats have got a runner on. And Saunders goes down swinging on the outside as Munro's had a positive start to her day.
Going into final season.
Thank you for taking the time, and Port obviously travelling very, very well, top of the ladder, so obviously some big games still to come, but what's it like playing in that Magpies lineup at the moment with some of the likes of Martinez and Marcelino. Sorry, I'm far out, I am struggling. She's one of my favourite players too, I can't believe I said that. And Jess Golden, the returning Kathleen Coral medalist. Some superstars. Elizabeth Engler, I mean, what a return. Like her pitching, 100 strikeouts in the league, and wow.
Yeah, it's really good. No matter if a few girls coming in, likes of Bree and Jess coming back and Liz coming back, but those girls are imparting so much strength and imparting a lot of knowledge as well onto the younger girls. So we've got the likes of Chloe Davis, and we've got the likes of McKenna, who's a friend of Bianca's, that has come in and is filling the hole at first pretty well after we've got a few girls that have gone to college. So it's always a lot of fun having imports, but it's how those imports affect the team, and I can't fault them at all. It's amazing standing behind Bree and Charlize Callahan in left field is a lot of fun, because you know that something's going to happen and they're always going to be there for you, those two girls.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong left side of the diamond. To be honest, it's a pretty strong right side too, just quietly.
Very strong.
Abby Mossman here leading off the bottom of the second for the Tigers. Games Seacombe and Walkerville. Seacombe now pretty much mathematically now eliminated from the finals race after Glenelg's big week with 5 players out of their starting 9, and they beat the Seacombe Tigers, and then they went up there and in CFS round, Hills played at Anembo Park, so it's the only time we play outside of Adelaide, and the Hills were at home, and it was a very, very young team that they put on the park, as they've been doing all season in their development under Coach Fairley, and it was a great game, 6-4, it was 6-2 going into the last, and they put a couple on. I think the important thing that came out of that game was that they had to bring Yo Grauer on halfway through. Well, they did bring Yo Grauer on, and and from that perspective, that's a feather in the cap, I think, of the Heat as they continue to learn and evolve.
For sure, Hills are a never say die team. I think under Reggie's coaching, and yes, they are a very young team. I know sometimes they may or may not like being called the young team, but
They hate it. Yeah.
but they love it. Like at the same time,
Yep.
they're incredibly talented players, and just to be, I think their average age is like 15 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The fact that they can put it up against teams and hold everyone accountable, and they're not a team to be underestimated, because let's be honest, in this league, if you let one game slip, it can cost you.
Lots of new faces, lots of returning faces. It's really happy, and I think the depth of the Premier League just continues to get better and better as we go.
Yeah, it's definitely changed. I've been lucky enough. I've been playing down here for quite a while now, but
For a very long time. Yeah.
honestly,
Emily Eriksson here, the power hitter, has shown off her skill as she's dropped a bunt and advanced Mossman to second base, and that's the first out. So a good piece of sacrifice batting there by the Swedish import, whose family's all the way from Sweden here today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're watching her play. They've been here for the last week and met them this week, and they're very nice people. So.
Yeah. Don't underestimate. Sometimes the longest hitters can drop a good bunt on the good days, so it's nothing to underestimate.
Absolutely. Got to be able to have all those tools in the kit. Araha Munro comes up swinging over the top of a really good change-up by Martinez.
As someone who has had to face that change-up, yeah, you don't see it until it's already past you sometimes. She throws it very convincingly.
Munro goes hard, ball goes out to Saunders at right field, takes the ball in front of her eyes, gets it into King, and Mossman stuck it too. Sorry, my voice just vanished there.
It's all right, Maxine Saunders is a very talented baseballer in her own right as well, so a lot of dual sport athletes at the moment, so I'm lucky enough that I can play against some of them and then in the same team. So for instance, Erin from Hills, she is my teammate on Saturdays.
And Southern Districts,
yeah. And then on Saturdays we're kind of rivals, so it's half the fun.
And you've spent some time with the female Giants?
Yes, I have, yes.
So that would have been a pretty cool experience?
It was an amazing experience. So the program that they're running is called A League of Her Own. So trying to get a women's ABL up and running. Currently there's only 3 teams, so Adelaide Giants, Brisbane Bandits, and either the Victorian Titans or the Melbourne Titans. But we're hoping to get a few more teams in, and hopefully this year after Nationals we can maybe get another one, hopefully get a few more softballers over and playing.
2 out here for the Tigers in the bottom of the second. Georgia Tompkinson, the second base player, has come to the plate. Emily Eriksson is the speed-up runner over at second base. She'd love that.
She'll love that. Did her job, she moved her over,
That's
and now
it.
she gets to stand in place of her.
Inside out by Tompkinson as she falls behind in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, look, it is good to see, some cross, as you said, sport athletes in that regard. We obviously had Georgia Bevan come back from AFLW to the Rebels, which was great to see. And I know also one of their import players, Sydney Horton, I believe, is also playing.
Yeah, I play against her. She plays for Glenelg in both softball and baseball, and yeah, playing against her is a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
It's good banter usually when one of us is usually pitching to the other one, so it's a good bit of banter between the two of us.
Oh, that's good. There is a lot of similarities. I mean, softball's obviously significantly better, but obviously just been paid to say that. Oh, no, of course not. We love it. So, you've had a long career, Jess. Kath Currell was all the way back in 2014, so and still in the Premier League. Batted 500 last year. Good numbers again this year, and in a lineup where, probably if 3 or 4 of those players who aren't here all the time weren't here, you'd be sort of like going, yeah, I'm 459. I'll take 459.
I'll take anything over 300, to be honest. I'll take anything over 300 because in a sport like softball, you're supposed to fail 7 out of 10 times.
That's right.
So I'll take anything over 300.
Well, like your 500 last year too. You were lights out last year, and then obviously the year before in the premiership year. So yeah. It's going to be a very, very interesting race to the finals. So,
it is indeed.
And the usual suspects are around the place. Obviously, West Torrens and Sturton, and Glenelg Rebels have just improved out of sight. And as they continue to build under Coach Brinkworth, who ironically we've just been able to announce on socials just a little bit earlier. She'll be guest bringing us home after Jess has been in here for a while. So. to have a chat with the Glenelg Rebels head coach. So Munro here, kicking us off as we move into the top of the third. This game's still 0-0 between the 5th place Seacombe Tigers and the 6th Walkerville Cats. So I promised that we were going to go around the field before. Araha Munro is back on the pitching plate. She's pitching to Abby Mossman. Becky Havis is over in traditional first. George Tompkinson at 2. Sasha Mutsi is at shortstop. Bree Lent getting a rest from behind the plate at third. Emily Eriksson, the Swedish warrior, out there at left field. Diaz Reagan at centre. Bested grounds out the first pitch. And Kelly Mountford, who's Mountford,
yeah.
Mountford, so new player for me. Haven't seen her play before, and she's out there at right field, and a couple of Schumacher, Titmus, and Moses on the bench.
It's a good lineup there.
It is. It's they've had their moments throughout the season. As going out to the right side, Bested's ball. What a catch by Mountford. Well, if you didn't know who she was before, you're certainly going to know who she is now. That's great piece of fielding out there at right field, as we see here on the C-Max replay. Bested looked like the ball was going to drop in. Mountford just drops her glove and has taken a great catch.
I was going to say, those aren't easy. A lot of people assume that they are, but on a diamond like West Beach, if you've never played here, the wind tends to blow in circles sometimes, so catching something like that sometimes can be quite difficult.
100%. And we get that sea breeze that picks up late in the afternoon and doesn't help as well. And you've got the open fields here with the golf courses behind us. So that's a great catch by Mountford. Top of the lineup here is Sophie King for her second at bat.
I was going to say, Kingy is a danger with the bat, whether or not she hits it to the fence or she can drop it a metre away from you, and she's definitely got wheels to spare. So you never know exactly what you're going to do with Kingy.
Yeah. Cost me a grand final. Still haven't forgiven her. She's very hard. She's gone into the 6-5 hole. Mutsi's done a great job to get over. As she's deflected the ball, it's gone past Eriksson. King has turned on turners, and if you don't, she's going to cross the plate with an infield home run for the first run of the game in what looked like a chopped ground ball to shortstop and third base in the hole. And Sophie King, as only she could do, has turned it into an RBI.
And that's what I mean. She can do so much damage with her speed. And looks like it took a bit of a deflect off Sasha there.
Yeah, Eriksson couldn't do anything there. You can see that Eriksson's right behind Mutsi, doing the right thing, backing up, and the deflection off of Mutsi's actually taken it away from Eriksson. So, a bit unfortunate. Maya wants to try and carry the momentum, and she out to the pitcher.
By the reaction by Adaha, I don't know if she saw all of that until it was in her glove, to be honest.
Looked like a change-up coming back to her. Yep. Oh, no, it just did hold up there a little. And just like that, we're now at 2 out. So all of a sudden there's plenty happening in this game.
I was going to say, it's one thing after another. So Hayley, obviously, Chelsea, nice and high.
Yep. Eriksson looking into the sun. That's not an easy catch. And she's done a great job there. She's developing as a bit of a left fielder, but in the B grade, she throws genuine rockets.
No, I've never actually faced her. I've never actually had the luck of watching her pitch, but I've heard that she absolutely throws bullets.
Yeah. She not only hits home runs for 250 feet on the outside, she fires the ball up as well. She's a really exciting player. Plays a lot of left field here for the A grade and did a good job there. But not before Sophie King. Wow. There we go.
And that could be the difference. It could be that one run that could be the difference between these two teams. They're quite evenly matched anyway. So, yes, it could be a battle of the pitches, but one small thing, if you don't take accountability and not accountability, but you take advantage of it, could be the difference between a 1-0 game. For Sophie King in the Parker and. Absolutely smashed over my head at right field one game when I was playing for Seacombe.
That being said, Jess, I've seen some of your home runs on this diamond. To one of them a walk off against Torrens, I remember. I think it was Torrens. Pretty sure.
I actually think that was either West Torrens or Walkerville, to be honest. Actually, walk off. They were 1 run short.
Oh,
so
right. it was a home run nonetheless.
It was.
So let's take that.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of being the walk-off run, to be honest.
Oh, well, Still a couple of games left in the season. So the right fielder who just took that great catch, Kaylin Mountford, has come up to the plate.
At least one thing, we won't have a huge amount of information on her.
Yeah, I'll just check
Is this her debut?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Sorry to the Mountford family.
Love to know it's her debut because
no, she's played one game before. Had 3 at bats, so looking for her first hit. This could be the day today.
I was going to say, going up against Chelsea, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully she can find a pitch that she likes and drive it.
Yeah, Chelsea Martinez thrown to Brooke Bethune behind the plate. George Mason's over at first. Kelly Bested in at second for a new look. King at short and Sophie Roberts at third. Mount for taking another ball low. Steph Gall moves out of second over to the left field. Haley Mayer traditionally at centre field. And Maxine Saunders back in the starting lineup at right. Yeah. So Stansfield, Dale, so a couple of
some good names on the bench too.
Some old legends on the bench there, just to come in need. So that time of year, some
names that definitely can hold their own still in the Premier League. Faced Karen the other day, that was fun.
Yep.
Still can absolutely pump them to the outfield.
Yeah.
She's not lost any of her strength.
Anything up in the zone, still going to get driven up the middle. Don't worry about that. Mountford swings over a breaking pitch there as she finds herself now behind in the... Oh, no, count I think goes to full.
I think it's full count, maybe. 3-1, full count.
Ooh. The crowd goes, ooh.
They're tough.
That is tough. Who'd be an umpire?
Oh, I
everybody
happily stepped away from that.
Everybody, hopefully. We need more umpires, so...
Yeah, no, being an umpire is not easy.
Mountford puts the ball in the air and Mason just very casually just runs back, doesn't panic and makes a good catch. Regan Diaz, the lead-off and centre fielder, returns to the top. Here we look on the C-Max replay. Mason making that look nice and simple.
Talking about people with wheels, Reagan is another one that can have wheels. Last time I was commentating, she put one so deep into left field, I'm pretty sure she was into the dog park. So, and she cruised and still looked like she's sprinting. So
yes, one of the exciting packet players that has come out of this C-Max Premier League.
Yeah, she's definitely got some wheels.
Yeah, she's got a bit of everything. Good arm, fast, hits the ball hard, can play short, and a very, very good pitcher. Good numbers.
So she's someone you can never underestimate. She's like Kingy. She's someone who can put it to the fence, but also can drop it a metre away from you and run it out to first.
Yeah, batting .463 for the season, which is super impressive. 6 RBIs, and she's gone on and scored 13 runs herself, which, as you say, for a team that's only scored 57 in the season, if you lead off to have scored that, and there she's just leant down on a change-up, and as it's nearly hit the dirt, she's gone down with it, and she's driven it up the middle.
Punched it past Chelsea, straight up the middle. Not much your middle infielders can do with that one. Be interesting to see if they try to get her over to 2. What method?
Yeah, well, I always say that because I always used to think, you know, depending on where you are in the lineup, especially with what you've got. I mean, time to test Brooke out here. So she's gone first pitch, and oh. So
was she?
Damien,
I think the collision there. Does she come off in the collision?
Yeah, Coach.
We might be able to see in the C-Max replay.
Yeah, Coach Benedictson's coming out there now, and Damien McCauley's called it out. Just for anybody that was watching last night's game, Lara Temke had a similar play with Sophie Kinnear at second base, and she was injured in the play, so she's going to be having some time off after getting checked out. So we wish her a speedy recovery, but hopefully no serious damage.
No.
But you know, it was an accident. There was nothing anybody could do about it. It was just, but that showed the intent of the game last night. There was plenty on it. So.
No player, hopefully, no player purposely goes out to injure another one in a play.
And anybody knows Sophie Kinnear, that's not in her MO whatsoever.
Played enough years with Sophie, and you could just tell in that moment that she shattered.
Felt terrible, yeah. And the rumour was Lara was still texting the coach last night saying, yeah, I'll be down there for big grade tomorrow. I'm just going to get checked out first, and So So anyway, all the best for Laura, and hopefully she returns soon.
Yep.
So not overruled, and Damien wins. D-Mac wins his case out there at second. Diaz has been called out on the steal, and so now we find Mutzi at the plate with 2 out.
So with 1 strike as well, because she swung over that one when Reagan went. It's coming to us.
Yep, I was going to say save us, but Brooke Bethune, an old premiership catcher of mine. So
ironically, I've won a premiership with her in a completely different association as
There
well.
you
So, sorry, I lost one to her. I should say, not won one with her.
I wasn't going to say all of the credit for Brooks. Formed a great partnership with Kristen Barry back in the day. So remember when they were getting ready for state. So yeah.
No, between Hayley, Brooke, both played against me back in Gawler, and they're now at CDSA, and those country competitions are still going. Unfortunately,
absolutely.
not with as much strength, but they are still going.
Well, there's lots of stuff happening in the background. Lots of positive conversations about trying to continue to make that better. Roberts stays low, has to turn in, and comes up with a pitcher-like arm and throws the baseline to retire the Tigers, who had a base runner there for a moment before she was thrown out by Brooke Bethune, and good stretch there by Georgia Mason.
Great throw too, to recover off of what was coming at her quite well.
Yeah.
To recover and have the composure to throw that to first. That's great awareness, and also great knowledge, and now she has to back it up being leader. Run so I'm just going to go get my bat.
Yeah. So the Cats, courtesy of Sophie King's infield home run, find themselves here as we move into the top of the 4th, 1-0 up over the Seacombe Tigers. So
how are they going to keep going? Are they going to add another? How are they going to do it?
Well, you're in the heart of the lineup here, and so Roberts, Bethune, Mason, so all can hit the ball nice, long and hard. But I think the thing that's been working today for Munro, who hasn't pitched much this side of Christmas, her off-pace work has been really, really good. Nothing's sort of sat up and hung up there. So, but she just hasn't given the Walkerville power hitters an opportunity to really clear. Seems to be working that inside, and Mossman, who's obviously not available all the time, is having a really good returning year to the Tigers. Is calling a good game so far.
Yeah, Rawls loves throwing a bit of movement, a bit of change up, whether it drop, whatever. And yes, it spins a lot. I remember first time I think I ever caught to her, I was having trouble catching it because of how much it was spinning in my glove. So she definitely does throw a lot of spin movement, and that can be quite deceptive, whether in the box or whatever, and it just moves a lot more than you expect.
Well, you see her, she's got lots of people swinging at her, and then they miss it, and you sort of look at it and go, how did they miss that? And then that's exactly what you're talking about. It's she gets that break on the ball, so good ball rotation, so very talented, did some great work in the 23s. So
yeah, one little bit of break is sometimes all you need to either pop it up or hit it into the ground, and if you can square it up, you can square it up, but sometimes it's actually just trying to see where her spin is, and she's deceptively hard to read as a batter. Because you just don't know where it's spinning to.
Roberts leans back on this one and hits a long ball out about 220 feet towards the MC Sportswear sign. But Reagan Diaz, great feet, makes the catch look simple.
Made that look easy with the speed and everything. Got in a nice position, was ready to come in, and didn't even need the sunnies for it.
No, she's that good.
So the sun on this diamond in the later games is quite hard sometimes because you're just looking straight into it.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It's brutal.
It is. Bethune wastes no time as she gets after her first pitch, hands way out in front.
I was going to say, Brooke will be chasing her pitch. She'll want to go long, and she'll want to go hopefully in that gap and get her wheels going.
It's funny when you sit here to viewers at home and you look at the amount of space between left and centre, and you think that Dental for School sign must sort of, everybody must look at it and just go, I'm going straight to you.
It's tempting. I'm not going to lie. It's tempting. Between CPC and dental schools is usually where I like to look. But it's hard because you have to sort of play to the wind and play to the batter and everything. That like a large gap like that, and with a pitcher like Aroha, you got to figure out where you're going to be able to field. And when you've got the speed of Reagan and Santa as well, and let's be honest, Emily takes 2 steps and she's covered like 5 metres, you've got that coverage there where they can tempt you into doing that.
Yeah. And she's got the range too, as she just demonstrated here, and she did it in the last batter as well. I mean, obviously for Roberts, she was out in front early in the count, and then went straight up in the zone, just teasing Sophie. Look, hey, look, I'm in front of the count. Here's a high pitch on the top of the zone. Let's see if you're how much discipline you're going to do. She's doing the same here to Brooke. Brooke stayed off both. Grounds out to the left side. Early call by Blue. As love to it. Erickson does a great job backing it up. And we'll have a quick look down the left field line and see. It was close.
So I don't think it was out by much. Bree getting a glove to it was pretty pretty impressive. Those ones come at you hard, you just got to react.
Again, good pitching by Munro. She takes the ball up, and Bethune hands out in front.
Brooke does not want to give up. She's not going to let Adaha have this easily.
No.
Very quality batter, can hit the ball very long, very deep, and has decent wheels that she can get around pretty well as well.
Cats looking to extend their lead. They're leading 1-0 here, and Bethune, discipline on the outside, watches it all the way down into the glove of Mossman. Nobody on base.
See what can happen, because the change of momentum could be everything.
She's gone to that left side again, hands well out in front.
Bindi might be in the firing line here.
Well, for somebody that's on the bench, I assume that she's got a quick change of clothes.
I'm going to hope she's got her uniform on the bench sitting ready, just in case anything happens. But she might be saying she's number 3.
I'm getting the sense that being the coach, she's going to send some others before her. Bethune just continuing this at bat, which has now turned into an 8.
I was going to say we're almost getting up towards double digits here.
All on the left side. Two of the first 3 pitches were both change-ups too. So Bethune's starting to get her groove now, starting to get a bit of a feel for what's going on now. Just got to keep her hands back, hang in there.
Let's see what she does here.
And she's picked up after a K in her first at-bat. That's a good comeback by Brooke Bethune, and you'd expect nothing less from the premiership player. Georgia Mason, who for a young person is very tall.
I was going to say, I was just thinking to myself, my God, they're tall. Like, sitting here, you're like, they're tall, but when you're sitting here, you're like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Average height of 5'10".
Well, yeah, I mean, Tammy's, she's tall as well. So here we go. The Cats 1 out.
Let's see what they can do with it, whether they move her around or just sort of let Georgia swing.
Yeah, she went early last time on the count. She's gone early again this time. Steph Gall.
Bindy's ready for it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that Bindy's done the full warm-up, is all I'm going to say. So you're right, she's definitely going in third, I reckon.
I was going to say, I'm getting the nod from Jill here that she's already played today.
Oh, okay. That's right. Ready to go.
Jill was umpiring, she's behind the plate, so she's already had a bit of a warm-up.
George here on the hands. Becky Havis, what an effort. Read that really well and had no right to get anywhere near it, but because she read it so well, close, but just out of the glove.
I think Becky was coming in a bit for a bunt there, and all of a sudden had to do a 180 and sprint back hard. And
yep, doubled back, but she sort of she saw like she'd already committed to what her first thing was, but she sort of read that was going to go that way. So great effort by the superstar.
Yeah, it's not an easy catch to take.
Bounce over the top. Munro takes it and hits Havis on the chest, and we get the second out, bringing Steph Gall, the left fielder, to the plate.
Yep. So we've got a runner coming in for Brooke because she is behind the plate today. So 94.
94. Must be Sasha Reynolds Rowe.
I was going to say, just double check that one. Yes, it is. We just haven't had it transferred over.
Yeah, no worries. All good.
Yes, so Sasha coming in for a run. I don't believe I've actually seen her play.
No.
But we'll see.
Another one of these young Cats players on the rise.
So we'll be able to see what she does speed-wise, and we'll be able to hopefully see her develop over the years as well.
Absolutely. As we get near just over the halfway point. We're one of your old coaches sitting behind us, getting ready to come in and bring this game home. Ball loose over the top of Mossman, and Rowe takes the opportunity and reaches third. We were talking pre-game.
Figured out.
Yeah.
Nat, it was the one up in Brisbane that unfortunately got washed out, so we had to do a 180 the week before the Easter tournament and play in Melbourne. So back when it was 17s and 15s, not 16s and 18s, and because I'm pretty sure you coached Nat at some stage.
I did. Those stories are going to come out too. Don't worry about that. So I apologise that we couldn't get all three of us on the mic today, but I guarantee you I will get the three of us back together because I was really looking forward to some of the
bit of the banter
between you and Nat. So good days.
I haven't had.
Gulch just
beautiful
leapt
shot.
back into that and put that ball in the 7-8 spot. Hits the fence. Diaz has gone over it. She's picked it up and then dropped it again. Unfortunately, she's slipped over out there. And that's allowed Rowe to go on and score. Great piece of batting by the number 7 for the Cats, Steph Gold.
So I think Reagan just then was like laughing at herself. She's like, come on. I think she slipped into the fence and then slipped as she was picking it up. So, the outfield out there is not easy near the fence. It does get a little bit hard to grip, but Reagan's done well then to get it in off of her knees.
Yeah. Maxine Saunders comes up with Gall at second now. 2 out for the Cats. And when do we see you back at Port? Wednesday night?
We play Wednesday night, yep. I have a feeling it's against Seacombe, I want to say, because I think it's on this diamond. But it'll be an interesting game. The games against Seacombe for me are always fun, as Maxine bows that one off there.
Yeah, obviously, ex-Seacombe player.
It's always a bit of fun going up against Adel.
Seacombe today, and we've got Seacombe again Wednesday night against the top of the table Port Adelaide Magpies. So West Torrens back into second place as they've continued their sort of, it's hard to say revival because they were still pretty good before. They just probably weren't scoring as much, and maybe weren't holding sides as much. But I tell you what, they're starting to improve now, which promises for a really exciting final series coming up.
Yeah, they got Steph back in the pitching circle, which is always a fun time, and I love facing her.
Yeah.
Can Bree get there? Oh, not quite.
But some of their and just smashing the ball.
Yeah, Emma's back, and love having her back. And as I said, grew up playing against her when I was a Tiger, and being able to play against her now.
And Sophie Hall batting.
Sophie Hoyle, yeah.
If she's batting at 7, then things are not good for the opposition.
Yeah, second clean-up is pretty comfortable there for Hoyle, but that whole...
Maxine, unfortunately, goes down looking on the outside edge. Well, Jess, thank you so much. I genuinely apologise that we weren't able to do the three setup, but as I said, I guarantee we will get together again. It was great to see you. All the best for the finals, and hopefully we'll catch up soon. And thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you for having me.
No worries. Superstar from the Port Adelaide Softball Club. That's Jess Maslin. Plays a bit of left field, bit of right field, first base, behind the plate. She can do it all. So, premiership player, Kath Coral medalist, and state player at both softball and baseball levels. And speaking of special guests, have I wanted to do this ever since I put a headphone set on? Coach of the Glenelg Rebels Softball Club, the in the 4 about to play finals Glenelg Rebels Softball Club. It's the head coach, Nat Brinkworth. Hi, Nat.
Hi.
How you doing?
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for doing this on late notice. It's as I said, unfortunately, we couldn't get the 3 sets working, but next time for sure. But thanks for spending some time with us today. I also know it got you out of playing C grade, so I won't sort of cash in too much on that. So, how you doing?
Yeah, good. It's been a big week this week, so
2 games in 48 hours, 2 big wins too.
So it's been a bit of a, come down from some 2 wins, but having to watch the telecast after we get home to, listen to the team and then their thoughts on how we've been performing has always been good.
Yeah, I reckon the group chat would be fun amongst the team. So Martinez here throwing to Bree Lynn. Here we are in the bottom of the 5th.
But so far it's a pretty tight arm wrestle here, and they've got a good chunk of the lineup coming through for Seacombe at the moment to see what they can do third time round.
Brent takes one on the inside. We obviously go way back to the old Walkerville days when I was over there at the Cats, and had the pleasure of coaching you when I started my coaching career in the Resis at B grade before we both graduated into the A's. So good times back at the Cats. Lint leans back on this one.
A great catch.
Wow. That's in a game that hasn't had too many highlights just yet. Steph Gall, big shot last innings, and she's backed it up with an amazing catch. Oh, wow. Steph Gall, CMAX Player of the Day nominee, putting herself right in the frame there, having a day out. So, yeah, we've obviously known each other a long time.
We won't say how long.
No,
kind of show our age.
It'll ruin the whole thing. So, and Havis wastes no time. King just bounces through the backhanded glove, and Havis aggressive as with the coaching. Obviously, life member of the Glenelg Rebels, obviously played there, and obviously been president of the club, and obviously husband now Gary in charge. Mossman here takes one over the letters.
I guess you can say it's lucky we like softball because we're here most of the
most
day
of the
now.
time, yeah. Oh, don't worry, I know that feeling. But, obviously they were out for a year. You came back. It was really difficult because obviously, you're coming back after a year. You sort of... Mossman jammed on the inside as she fouls it off. And then you've had to rebuild that team effectively from scratch with obviously some players that were existing that sort of had to, play a bit of B grade and wait. But you've just sort of... It's not just about adding the pieces, but the team's improvement just each year has, and obviously the acquisition of Jay Peterson, this year Yo Grau, it's becoming a destination club.
Yeah, it's about building a strong culture and making sure that people are playing for the right reasons and they're enjoying themselves. And I think if you're enjoying your softball, then the results start to happen. People are willing to put the hard work in. And it's good to see that they're now getting the results after a couple of hard years, and it is hard, and it's good to see that, Seacombe, similar to us, took a year off, and to have them back in the competition is great too, because we want more people participating in softball. So it is hard work, and it's good to see that, Seacombe's been getting some results too, and making sure that, there are places for people to play if they want to play at that level.
Abby Mossman's just fouled off and put a ball right in front of us here at the in front of the commentating position. I was breathless there as I just grabbed Nat and put her in front of me just to make sure the ball didn't get through the fence to get to me. So, but we're all safe as it's been collected here. Mossman goes inside out. Saunders takes her catch low on the knees as well as the Cats left and right fielders come up trumps with two big plays as the Tigers have come out swinging here. And in the notion of coming out swinging hard, this will be a treat here because Emily Erickson doesn't tend to leave too much behind here. CMAX replay, you just see good catch there taken by Saunders.
Emily got a great hit on Tuesday in a clutch Wednesday in a clutch situation against us, and scored a couple of runs for them that put them ahead. So
hadn't seen her hit too much to the right side, and that was a long ball too. So especially just following up after Diaz's triple at the start. But that's something else I want to have a chat to you about too. Is this as she's gone to the other side again? In between first and second base, Erickson just continually evolving and getting better every time you see her at bat and play. It's been so great to see her here. As you can see here on the CMAX replay, I think she's showing off in front of mum and dad that have come all the way from Sweden to be a part of that. But yeah, you're talking about culture and just Glenelg's ability this year. The new mantra of just, doesn't matter how hard it is, or how far behind, or we've been jumped, or we've got players out injured, they just keep coming.
Yeah, they do.
How'd you build that?
Just belief, I think. So now that they've done it a few times, they think that they can keep on doing it, and it's great to have that belief. But for Kay Bevan, who's my assistant coach, and we particularly don't need any heart medication anytime soon, so it would be nice if we could kind of,
Up the middle here as Munro gets a piece here, and good base running has accelerated round third and gone on to score. Tigers have runners at 1 and 2 with 2 out here, as the score now is the Walkerville Cats 2. 1. Munro comes off for the speed up rule. Havas doesn't even make the dugout. She becomes the speed up runner.
Yeah, that was good contact, Munro. So it puts the field under pressure every time that you put the ball on the ground. So they were able to capitalise on that quite well then, Tigers.
Yeah, well, Tigers not going away here, so tight game here late on a Saturday afternoon before the big clash between West Torrens and Sturt at 5 tonight. Tompkinson takes a ball on the knees there for a strike.
You can do that.
State under 18 player gets after the American Chelsea Martinez and fouls off behind the plate. Havas doing some gardening out there at first. Erickson finds herself at second. 2 out here. Tying run at go ahead run at first base. Tigers mounting a comeback here late. Tompkinson again fouling the ball off behind the plate. Cats are, though, about to come back through the top of their lineup after left fielder Steph Gall put the ball to the fence last innings.
Sorry, I was going to say, it's good to see some old names back out for Walkerville.
Yeah. Yep.
Brooke behind the plate and Hayley out at centre field. It's good to have those old heads to help some of these junior players develop.
Tompkinson again fouls off into the Sturt Softball Club's warm-up area as
And of course, obviously having the old head and Sophie King just steering the ship as she can.
Infield home run from the superstar that she is already today. So Tompkinson here battling away. She's had 4 foul-offs so far in this at-bat alone and stays off a tricky pitch on the outside edge. Tompkinson flies it out, and Sophie Roberts takes the catch there at third base to retire the Tigers, but not before they put 1 run back on the scoreboard. CMAX, one tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time. Log on to cmax.com.au. CMAX proud sponsors of the CMAX Premier League. So CFS round here, round 16. With us is special guest coach Nat Brinkworth, the head coach of the Glenelg Rebels, currently securing the spot in the 4 last night with 2 big wins with up to 5 starters out. How are you managing that roster?
With a massive headache. No, we've had some really good younger players step up to the plate, like Charlotte Fairley. Definitely had a great game on Wednesday night. Started a couple of innings for us to get the bats going with a walk and putting the butt down, but people like Lucy Chappelle and Bree McGee to help us out whilst we need some people to step up have been fantastic old heads to kind of steer them, and they're not going to get phased playing in. So I think hopefully we'll get Courtney Shepherd back next week. And then we'll see what happens from there. So we'll still have a couple missing, but we'll see.
Caitlin's ankle is probably a bit more serious, and obviously, unfortunately for Gemma Cochran, the superstar, there's doesn't look likely, unfortunately. So it's a difficult injury to come back from, especially in a sport like this. Kelly Bested, for the second time today, has gone out testing for the Tigers. having a good day. Kelly Bessett moved into the infield today. 2 good pieces of the ball here on the C-Max replay.
And it looks like they've made some changes for the Tigers. So Diaz is now coming to second base, and it looks like
Tompkinson's gone out to right field, which would mean at centre field is
the other Titmus.
Oh yeah, Titmus has come in. The other half of the Swedish import, who's ironically English. But
they will give them some. They won't lose any speed, obviously, out there, swapping her out there for
no,
Diaz.
Not at all, no. And both lovely girls too. Very funny. Top of the lineup here with nobody on. It's one out. Sophie King already had scored a RBI on her infield home run back in the 4th. Stays off that one. Good discipline. So yeah, it must be difficult balancing the roster, but how good is it to have club legends like Bree McGee, who are great servants of the club, always the family name especially, taking a step back this year for work commitments, and she's just come in and looks like she hasn't skipped a beat.
Yeah, last night she had a day out with 3 RBIs and winning the CFS medal that they present as part of that game. So she's just slotted back in like she's never left. So that's been great to have her back, filling in a spot. But she'll be, priming herself for finals as part of the squad.
Awesome. Sophie King makes her way to first on a walk. Cats 2. Tigers 1. Hayley Mayer, the centre fielder, comes to the plate.
But we are going to invest in some bubble wrap for the rest of the team for the last 2 minor round games, I think. So.
I've seen your name on a couple of these team lists too. So from time to time. So King's gone. Mayer shows bunt. Ball spills from King's made a 2, and it's 1 out for the Cats as they look to extend their 1-run lead. Chelsea Martinez, the pitcher, on deck. Sophie Roberts, bat in hand, waiting her turn. And Mayer goes down swinging in an attempt to advance. King
brings Martinez up.
Hits a long ball. So Seacombe 5th, the Cats 6th. So round 16. CFS round that started last night at Anemo Park. Great setup up there, and always a great event. Glenelg do a great job with attending these rounds, and obviously working with the Hills Heat up there and the Hills Softball Association to put on a great event last night, raising money for the CFS Foundation. Martinez takes no time as she then puts this ball foul about 4 or 5 feet to left field. Erickson picks the ball up off the back of the fence. Then, as seems to happen with the Tigers late in games, they just seem to start to pick up the hits. They've got some pitching depth. But Munro so far has done an outstanding job keeping the Cats just to 2. Great mixture of pace with Mossman behind the plate calling a blinder. She goes again. Havas goes for it up against the fence hard, looking directly in the sun. Hardest play there is, and a good effort, but beaten as the ball hits the dirt.
That's a great effort by Becky.
Yeah, absolute superstar.
No, the Hills do a great job of that round. We've been going up for 3 years now. The girls, as the Glenelg Rebels do, like to make things a social thing. So,
and Munro just picks her up on the outside as Martinez goes down looking. Sorry to interrupt you there, Coach.
Right.
And keep going.
Yeah, so they usually organise dinner at someone's house, and then they all travel up, carpool up together, and make sure they stay around to support the event with a drink and a sausage sizzle afterwards. And
so Gemma Cochrane's house got hit last night,
that's
did it?
Right. So Gemma obviously building a new house at Mount Barker was the obvious go-to, but no, it's been a good experience for our team to go up there. Finally got a win up there. Had a draw the first time and a heartbreaker last year.
Yeah.
In the dying moments of the game, so it was good to get the W this week. It wasn't without any heart starters either last night, because the Hills really came back at us late, which was good to see their fight for such a young team.
Yeah.
So, people started to think, they're going to do what they did last year, and it's like, unfortunately for them, not this time.
Yeah, so, it was 2-2 early. Glenelg obviously, Hills have scored early in games for most of the season, and but it was 2-2 for a while there, and then obviously he made the change. Obviously, as you said, McGee, Bron Sawyer, there were plenty of team members in the Rebels, which has been their MO all year, that everybody in the lineup contributes. And they bloke it out to 6-2, and not before the heat, though, in the last innings, made a comeback against arguably one of the best pitchers in the league late to make it a 6-4 game. So it was a great event all round.
Yeah, and it's great to see the men play before us too, because the games is played at absolute speed by the guys, and it's fantastic to watch that happen too before us. So we don't see a lot of men's softball all the time, so it's great to see that, and hopefully it encourages people to come down and support the Nationals in a few weeks' time when we host that here in Adelaide.
Great shout out, yes. I saw last night, speaking of Charlotte Fairley, Scott Fairley out there in the middle trying to throw the ball hard as he used to. So doing a great job there for the Houndorf Magpies, who ended up going down, would you believe, after leading for most of it. And Titmus has gone down looking as she's come into the game.
Yeah, no, Scott's come out and pitched a bit to our girls in the A grade, as well as Jared Farrell, who was one of the commentators last night. So they come and give us a hand. It helps with that bit of belief of hitting off with the men, which is a great experience with the girls. So we're back to the top of the lineup here with Diaz.
Yeah, Martinez there. Early strike, and just picking up Titmus on a change of speed over the plate. So yes, we've always wondered what you've said in those games late when we try and figure out how to do this. As you say, you were talking about the heart medication earlier, but you must go into finals confident knowing that if the game's close, we've probably been here 8 or 10 times so far this season, so it's not going to be completely new.
Yeah, no, we've definitely played under finals pressure as Diaz hits it to second base for the routine out over to first.
Off the change up there for the second. Looking around the field here, we're 4/3 round 16, the CFS Foundation round hosted by the Hills Softball Association. QR codes on all of the socials where you can donate money towards the CFS Foundation, as was the event last night held at Animo Park. Lots of strikes in this innings by Martinez, so Cat's obviously in a hurry as Mutzi takes this opportunity to time out and go over to Coach Benedictson. So obviously finals only a couple of weeks away, trying to get some Warriors back. Any shout outs for the girls there? I'm sure in the group chat they would have not asked you to plug anything. Do you want me to sort of plug on her Croc shoes or anything like that? Or
probably if you live in the Hills area, she'll be once her cast is off, she'll be having her lash business back up and running up there. So any ladies or men who need their lashes done, she'll be back in business. No, it'll be good to have most of them back on the park in the next week or so, because we've got a bit of a lighter run since we had a pretty heavy load at the beginning of the season. So
yeah, it's the way the draws come out this year. So
with Seacombe having a much heavier load as Mutzi hits it out to shortstop and Sophie makes a over to Georgia Mason. So Seacombe have still got 2 double headers to come ahead of them with West Torrens and Sturt, so they're pretty tricky to finish the season off. But
if there's a year where Seacombe have got actual genuine pitching depth to go into a couple of double headers, this is the year they've jagged it, because obviously they've picked up Reagan Diaz, Araha Munro, who's obviously was their number one and done a great job for them, especially last year in the start of the rebuild. And we hope to see Emily Erickson on the TV throwing rockets like she does in the B grade. So, because she's just such a tremendous athlete and an exciting prospect at only 20, I might add, which is even the crazier part. Doesn't mind a pair cider as well. So, Sophie Roberts here leading off what appears to be the 7th as we get towards the end of the game.
So they're right in the middle of their lineup here. Sophie Roberts has had a great season so far.
Already hit a long ball out to centre field that went like a rocket, caught by Diaz.
And been a bit of a brick wall at third base this season too.
Yeah, had a great under-23 tournament with the bat, and also then went away with the Stars at the Gillies Shield. So she's had a busy summer.
Munro trying not to give her anything up in the zone for her to hit out, so keeping it low, hoping to get a ground ball to get the out.
You've got Lynn, Diaz and Havas, all, superstar infielders in their own right. Sasha Mutsi on the rise as she continues to learn that craft. Been impressive early today. She took some great catches in the first innings, all looking into the sun. Roberts hits hard. Speaking of those flashy infielders, there is a great play by Brianne Lynn. Becky Havas steps in, making the infield as small as she can here on the C-Max replay. Great reflex.
Yeah, it's just making sure that she's obviously covered the line there and was able to make that out, but that's a hard throw on that backhand and behind the base as well.
It's a great stretch. I mean, it's a long throw from Lynn, but Havas had to be there and she had to glove it, and then she's done just that. Brooke Bethune being aggressive early in her at-bats today as she then fouls the first ball way down the left field line.
Great to see Brooke back from a little hiatus from Adelaide softball. Obviously been playing up at Central District.
Yeah, along with Hayley and a couple others.
So great for her to come and add some depth to Walkerville and just some experience there. Premiership player with you, wasn't she?
She was,
for
yeah.
West Torrens back in the day?
Yeah, absolutely she was. Formed a great partnership with Kristen Barry back in the day, but she played a bit of outfield, and I think we had her at third a little bit as well, but she was a great character and always gave great effort. Had a couple of really standout games for some big wins when we needed them. So, and I think her and her battery work with Kristen obviously was in the state teams as well, which is sort of how that came together. But no, great competitor, and you're 100% right. It's so good to see some of these players back, and hopefully next season, as we can try and get the associations aligned, we can have a bit more of a chat about trying to give some more opportunities for players in both leagues to sort of be able to get around and do a bit more. Lint sees the ball flash right past her as it goes foul by 6 or 7 feet. But
Emily's had to do a fair bit of work on that foul ball line.
That left side has been busy. For those at home, whilst it's still reasonably warm here, the breeze is very much that afternoon sea breeze coming from our right to left, and you can see the trees in the background there pushing the ball that side as Bethune continues to foul the ball off on that side of the diamond, which he's already done a lot of times today. Big game coming up after this. I'm assuming you're going to hang around and keep a very, very coach eye on West Torrens v Sturt at 5 p.m.
Yeah, it should be a cracker of a game. Obviously, everyone above us is still vying for that top 2 position, so it'll be interesting to see them going hard at each other, and I think probably see Ollie on the plate for Sturt, and she's a great developing pitcher coming through. And
yeah, she's the next big thing in Adelaide softball, South Australian softball for that matter. Bethune grounds out again. Yes, it's that time of the year where funny things start to happen in regards to what you do with starting lineups. Will Steph Trzynski pitch against Sturt today, or Will they go with, the young Sutton, Talia Sutton, who's done some good things for the Eagles this year? They've also got Jess Ryder there as well. I mean, Sturt, Zali Adams is still a couple of weeks away probably. So,
Yes.
And third down the hard line, but it's foul again.
Oh, it's a great effort laid out right there.
Yeah. How did she... Brie Lynn getting a workout over there at third base.
Fair to catch today after today.
Obviously, so Zoe Adams unavailable. Ruby Fidge overseas pitching currently in the college system. So,
but it's a good opportunity to start testing some of the things out that you might, need for finals. Trying someone new in whether they can pinch hit or be a runner, or if you've got a couple of positions that you haven't quite worked out, you can have that kind of experimentation prior to finals.
Bethune just chops at this one out to right side. Tompkinson takes it in the lower part of the pocket as she records the out there. Another multi-pitch bat for Brooke Bethune, batting deep in counts, which is good to see. Young Georgia Mason comes to the plate. Hit the ball hard a couple of times here today, as you see there on the C-Max replay. Tompkinson, who started at second, now out at right field. So it's the first base player for the Cats, up against Araha Munro. 2 out for Walkerville. And then bottom of the 6th will move over to the Tigers. A couple of minutes to go here, so Tigers pretty much want to get the next out quickly. Steph Gall has already hit a double today. Mason flies out. So if the Tigers want to have another opportunity to come back through the top of their line, they're going to need to move pretty quickly.
Walkerville obviously trying to get an extra run here to kind of give them a bit of security going into the last innings.
Mason inside out, right side of the diamond as Tompkin recovers the ball from the right field fence. 1 ball, 2 strikes, top of the 6th. It's 2 out. Walkerville 2, Seacombe 1. Munro challenges Mason high in the zone. She goes with it and fouls it off. So we'll have to do this again sometime in the future so we can talk about our stories of our days back at Walkerville and played out, which is still funny to this day. So
No, it's been great to get behind the mic because...
Well, as I said, the Rebels this year they've been the surprise, but when you look back on it, I suppose not really surprised because, as I said, you've been building that team now for a few years, and it's been a sensational performance to this point, and injuries at this point are now just making a very, very difficult job even harder. But they can seem to continue to deliver the goods. Like this week, you go into a big game where you can solidify a spot in the 4 with 5 starters out, get the job done, coming from behind. And then, a big game last night in the CFS Foundation round, started round 16, and picked up another big win. So,
yeah, it's good to see that we've got the depth in the club to, step up, and also means that, during finals, if we need to, we can call on those players who've had some A-grade experience during the season in some really tough games to step up if required to.
yeah. I mean, Courtney Shepherd's continued to evolve, as a catcher. Mason fouls this one off. But also her hitting, like there was a time in that first year where she sort of stood out, and it was pretty much a lot of it was on her, and if she didn't get it done, then a lot was being asked of others. But now it's just the fact that they all contribute. There's no I mean, obviously Grauer, you see the name Grauer and obviously it's a standout, but Peterson's strikeout machine. But then you go through the lineup and there's just Mason goes hard to the right side, fouls it off.
Yeah, so a lot of the runs have sometimes come from the bottom end of our lineup in games, which has been great. So it's not reliant on one or two hitters. So that's been good to see. Like Kinnear has been holding up the bottom end, like sacrifice flyers to score some runs, that kind of thing. So it doesn't kind of the Courtney. We've got plenty of depth down the bottom now, which makes a big difference.
Mason continuing the batter before at Brooke Bethune, having another long at bat. Munro forcing lots of foul offs here. Some behind the plate, some on the right side. So it's been a good performance by the starter for the Tigers today. Currently down 2-1. A deflection off of Sasha.
That was
just missed. A deflection off of Sasha Mutsi's glove. Left Emily Erickson sort of wrong-footed, allowed the Cats to score their first run before Steph Gall hit the ball deep to score the second. As Mason goes deep this time, and she's gone over Erickson. It's two bounces into the Dental for Schools fence side as the ball pushed in. Mason, talent beyond the years, just leans back, big smiles for the tall first base player from the Walkerville Cats.
And that was a great battle between pitcher and batter. Georgia coming on top in the end, but she really had to work hard to get there.
Yeah. Again, Erickson couldn't do much with that. It's just a good piece of batting. Munro threw some great pitches, nearly had it there, and you can just see a couple of bounces into the fence, good running, gets around. Coach Benedictson's come out. So it will be the last innings. So we've got a runner at 2 in Mason Gall, who's already hit the fence in the same spot today. She comes to the plate at 2 out, with the Cats looking to try and make 2 look like 3. And then the Tigers will get one last roll of the dice with 3 outs at the end. And they've intentionally walked Gall, sending Maxine Saunders to the plate. And Coach Stansfield, now that they've sent Maxine Saunders to the plate, Coach Stansfield herself is making a change as the state under-18 coach and veteran of South Australian softball, Karen Dale, is going to come out for an opportunity to see if they can extend the run.
Karen's bringing a lot of experience to these sorts of situations. Loves to hit a long ball down left field line.
Yep. Up in the zone, she like to go straight up the middle. So hopefully Munro knows that. Or hopefully Abby Mossman knows that. So she's come a couple of times, I think, this season and done this type of thing, but she's done it many times in her long and successful career. Recently just returned from Mira Booker as the state under-18 coach, where she led them into finals. And week, very high temperatures, and she's taken no time at all just to get accustomed, gone straight after it and fouled off for strike 1. Takes another higher pitch, this time stays off it.
Good try by Seacombe to try and, get her after that one, but Karen's got a very sharp eye and is able to stay off it.
Karen puts the ball, it could fall in, it's quick enough and has the range to get in behind second base to take the catch and retire the Cats. As you can see here, just in the warm-ups, Ollie Durham getting warm for the Falcons, and Ryder and Sutton getting warm for the Eagles. So thanks Coach Brinkworth for coming in today. Now, as I said, we will do it again, and we will talk some old funny stories. Softball past. Great to see you. Amazing job that you're doing with the Rebels. Thank you for your participation in the CFS Foundation game last night, raising money for the Country Fire Service. Doing down there at the Rebels. We wish you all the best for finals.
Thank you very much. It's great to come and have the opportunity to see how hard it is on this side, and I think I prefer it on the other side of the mic. But no, it was great to come on board. But I'll hand back over to Jess, and she'll bring it home.
Jess is going to come in as the closer, as she does here for the Tigers 3 outs here. She's going to talk us through those 3 outs, see if the Seacombe can come from behind. But that was Coach Nat Brinkworth from the Glenelg Rebels.
Thought I was off the hook then for a second.
No, never at all. So Tigers, where they want to be as far as the lineup goes, they've got Lint at 3, Havis at 4, Mossman at 5. So the Tigers only needing the 1 to tie it up, and an extra 1 for a walk-off win. So they're in the right part of the lineup here. Martinez, though, she's been good all day.
She's definitely been consistent. She's making them work for everything. So you definitely can't underestimate Seacombe. They're a team that will come back hard at you. But Chelsea's got pretty good control in the middle today, and she's making them, as I said, work for everything. So it's not going to be an easy moment to take it.
Yeah, still throwing hard. You can see Lint, though, looking. She wants to go hard, and Martinez... And good calling by Bethune, just giving her nothing to generate any speed off of. She's going to have to do it all herself. So
yeah, I was going to say, I am also impartial to the old slap hit, so
yeah.
I know I get a little bit of flack to it, but it's nice to see that I'm not the only one who does it. Bree definitely can generate her own power, though, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, there are plenty that do it. Lynn does it, you do it, Amber Hood does it.
Yep. And
there's some pretty good names. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've seen Steph Krasinski do it. So, I don't know how you can be copping flack for that.
I think it's because I do it so early as well. I do it most of like starting like bat, not just as 2-stroke.
Have some faith in yourself, Jess. Come on.
I don't know why I do it, to be really honest. It just was comfortable sometimes.
All right, we've got Brie Lynn at 1. She is the tying run. The go-ahead and walk-off run is at the plate. It's the superstar first base, Becky Havis, who's already had herself a hit early in the count in her last at-bat.
I was going to say, Becky can definitely drive it, so if I was in the outfield, I'd be making sure that, you've got as much coverage as you can, because if Becky, there we go.
And there it is. Gall's going to have to go, and she does a great job. That is well done. Steph, there's been lots of good things today, but I tell you what, she's going to be my C-Max clinical player of the day.
She's been smashing it today. The catch she took earlier, that sliding stop, you can't, that also means, like, if that gets past her, that's a run scored, and possibly Becky would be pushing as well.
Yeah.
But the way she was able to get that and stop it enough that it held everyone up, and Bree's still at third, and Bree was looking to go home, and Benedictson's obviously pulled her up, but that goes past, that's a run. So it's a great run-saving stop there, and then the catch earlier in the game, which would...
Here, whether or not Coach Stansfield's going to use maybe Maya coming in to pitch.
Maybe she was rolling over in the the warm-up before everyone got out there. She was rolling over to, I want to say, Steph in the outfield instead of just throwing it around. So it'd be interesting. Bindi could just also be telling them, like, hey, Becky's in the plate or whatever. Left-hander
versus the right-handed hitter. I mean, in this situation, Martinez looks like she's staying there, which means that with that one, the Stansfield goes out, she'll have to change. So.
Yeah.
Now, that's
no pressure on him.
No,
Emily, right.
Try and give your infield the best opportunity to try and double you up out of it. But the Tigers none out here. Bases now loaded. and the power hitter that is Emily Eriksson at the plate.
Emily's strong here. She has I've only ever seen one gear, and that's swing hard and hit it as far as you can. And I showed her finesse earlier in the game when she dropped a little bunt. But the thing is, Emily's not going to say die. She's going to swing hard. She's going to try to, whether or not it's a sack fly, it still scores a run.
And the important thing is, and the runner at first don't matter. It's Havis is the one that matters. And there she gets 2 off-speed pitches, and one of them is a strikeout change-up across the plate. Havis is the one that matters. Lint ties the game. Havis wins the game. It's none out, and this ball could go absolutely anywhere.
She's going to make Emily generate the power. Chelsea just was flirting around the outside of the plate, seeing if Emily will chase, and we know the strike zone is there, and we just have to make sure she's protecting it. And literally anything, I think is it Karen Dale out at right field?
Yeah.
So Karen's going to, there we go.
So tagging opportunity here for Lint. Maya takes it shallow, comes off, and good work by the Cats.
Get that.
So good work by the Cats there defensively for the first out.
Yeah, still got another chance sack into draw. So
Munro now, so they've still got power at the plate. Lint sort of smiling back at Havis for the lead-off, as we just see here on the C-Max replay. So it's difficult, but Maya came in and fielded shallow, which was right, because they obviously need the outs here. So same situation again, 1 out.
It looks like overall, though, the outfield have come in. You want to be able to make that throw at home, and if that throw at home game, that saves your game.
Yeah, if it goes over your head, you're going to lose it anyway. So that's good work by the Cats in preparation now. Martinez here needing to keep the ball away from the power zone of Munro, who slides up the ball. So Havis is running. Maya.
There we go.
And there it is. A walk off to the Seacombe Tigers on the shot to centre right field.
Yeah, Becky was off on the play then, and unfortunately I think she got one to the face, but she had to go. She was going to make that run. She was going to score that, and walks it off.
Araha Munro becomes the hero of the day here on the C-Max replay as she goes out to right field, centre field. Maya collects the ball, comes in, throws hard. Bethune gets dragged up the line, and she's basically run into the glove.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things as a catcher. You obviously have eyes for the ball, but you also got to be aware of that. And it has pulled Brooke off the line. So unfortunate that it was in the face, and that, that's going to hurt, and hopefully it doesn't leave a mark. But I think she'll take the win and maybe a little bit of soreness.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to give joint players of the day now, because as soon as I mention the end of the game, Araho Munro, who has been great all day in the pitching mound, comes up with a walk-up. So Araho Munro for the Tigers gets my clinical player of the day, and Steph Gall for a great game for the Cats as well. So Tigers have come from behind and run out walk-off winners 3-2. Thank you, Jess, for coming back and closing that one out. The next time, remember, the link's still on all the socials, the QR codes. Please raise some money for this very, very important organisation. Stay tuned for, if you're down here at West Beach, get ready for the big game between West Torrens and Sturt. Otherwise, we will see you Wednesday night. James Harris on the mic for Seacombe and Port Adelaide.
Yeah.